Yes.
And was that collected as well?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 326, can you tell us what that is?
This is a evidence bag containing the black hair tie.
And the state would move to admit State's 326.
No objection.
326 is admitted.
And I want to move to her clothing. Let's start first with her shoes. State's 322. Do you recognize 322?
Yes.
What is it?
This is an evidence bag containing her athletic shoes.
State would move State's 322. Move to admit State's 322.
No objection.
322 is admitted.
State's 320. What is that?
This is an evidence bag containing her pants.
State would move to admit State's 320.
No objection.
320 is admitted.
State's 321. What is that?
This is an evidence bag containing her underwear.
State would move to admit State's 321.
No objection.
321 is admitted.
State's 325.
This is an evidence bag containing her socks.
State would move to admit State's 325.
No objection.
325 is admitted.
State's 327.
This is an evidence bag containing a piece of black fabric that appeared to be a bra strap.
And the state would move to admit State's 327.
No objection.
327 is admitted.
Dr. DeMarco, did you form an opinion as to the cause of death of Laken Riley?
I did.
What is that opinion?
Her cause of death is the combined effects of blunt force head trauma and asphyxia.
What is her manner of death?
Homicide.
May I have 1 moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
I will pass the witness. If I just have a moment to put my photos away.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Is hemorrhaging considered a subset of a cause of death, or can it be its own cause of death? Blood loss. Is blood loss considered a subset of other causes of death, or can it be its own cause of death?
So, blood loss or exsanguination is not usually a word that we'll use for a cause of death. It's more so a mechanism of death. The cause would be the blunt force trauma that caused the hemorrhaging, if that makes sense.
And that was my next question. So in this case, the blunt force trauma, it's not just the trauma, it would be possibly also the bleeding that came from that.
I think they're pretty intrinsically linked, but yes.
When I look at your report, I just want to make sure we're looking at the same document. Do you have a 6-page report in front of you?
Yes.
And the top says official report, and then it has the GBI sigil on it.
Yes.
When I look at your report, it has a section called case individuals. Did you fill that out?
I did not.
That is automatically populated with this case number?
Yeah, it's just, excuse me, it is automatically populated by our LIMS system, which is Laboratory Information Management System.
Do you know who decides how to categorize these 4 individuals?
I do not.
And just for the record, is it true that it lists the victim as Laken Riley,
Correct.
the subject as Jose Antonio Ibarra,
Correct.
elimination Argenis Ibarra,
Yes.
elimination Diego Jose Ibarra?
Yes.
Did you measure Laken Riley's fingernails before they were clipped?
I did not measure them, but I examined them.
How would you describe the state of her fingernails before they were clipped?
They were intact. They were not broken.
Is it true that there was blood on the inside of the fingernails?
I would have to refer to the photograph to see, but I know that there was soiling of the fingers, specifically blood. I would have to look at the photographs.
In other words, you can remember that there were blood on the fingers, you just can't remember if they were underneath the fingernails?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that a yes?
Yes, sorry.
No, you're good. The scratches on her torso, you'd agree with me that they're in a variety of lengths?
Yes.
There's also a little bit of variety of the width of these scratches.
A small amount, yes.
And you were discussing with the state the possibility that they were brush abrasions. Can you explain what you mean by brush abrasions?
So when we say brush abrasions, we're just giving a characterization to their appearance. So they have an appearance where there was some sort of movement across the surface.
So, for example, someone could get brush abrasions by dragging somebody across the surface.
That's possible.
And you can't eliminate the possibility that some of these scratches are brush abrasions.
I can't entirely exclude it, but I don't favor that they are.
Do you have an opinion as to whether these scratches could have been caused post-mortem?
I do not think that they were post-mortem.
And why not?
These scratches showed something that we call a vital reaction. So when you see red discoloration in the area of the injury, that is an indication of bleeding, and you will not see bleeding into the tissues in a post-mortem injury.
Does that differ depending on how close in time to the death that happens?
No.
So if somebody is deceased and then the next second there's a cut, wouldn't that also have bleeding associated with it because of the blood left in the body?
So the bleeding that goes into the tissues is a effect of the heart pumping. So the heart needs to be pumping to have the pressure to push that blood into the tissues at the injury site.
And so you're saying you didn't notice, I'm not trying to put words around, I'm just trying to repeat, you didn't notice signs of blood being pumped through those wounds, or you did notice signs of blood being pumped through those wounds on the scratches?
Yes.
Okay. Just one moment. Do you have an opinion as to what caused the scratches on her torso?
Some sort of blunt force trauma.
Is it possible they were caused by fingernails?
It's possible.
I don't have any other questions.
Redirect.
Briefly. When asked about, so again, the marks to her torso, you said, I don't favor that they are called brush abrasions. Could you explain that to us, and what do you really mean about I don't favor that?
They don't have the stereotypical appearance of what I would call a brush abrasion.
And that's why when you say you don't favor they are, what do you mean by the word favor?
I mean, based on my experience and the brush abrasions that I've seen, these have a slightly different appearance, but I cannot entirely exclude them being from a brush injury.
And you answered the defense counsel's question. It's possible it's fingernails. It's also possible that it's an object. It's possible that it's anything that could have caused blunt force trauma to her in this manner.
Correct.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Beth?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
All right. Can she be excused?
Yes, sir.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection.
Okay. You're excused, Doctor.